What is elastic?
Stretch out without breaking.
So which is more elastic, rubber or steel?
Rubber.
You know, when I ask you questions, you'll be always like, why is he asking such silly questions? Which is more elastic, rubber or steel? Steel.
Because you can stretch steel.
So what is elastic? You know, people are always using wrong terms, you know, in common correspondence. This is one of them.
Elastic is how much it can be stretched without.
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh, elastic is?
How much it can be stretched without breaking.
No, elastic is not
The
that.
strength of the. What would be the strength?
The ability of an object to stretch.
No, the ability of an object to
Change shape.
return readily to its initial position. That is elasticity.
Okay.
That is the actual elastic. So steel is more elastic than rubber. Rubber is terrible. But yes, if I have to look at which is more flexible, steel or rubber? Rubber. So most people actually confuse the term elasticity with flexibility. They're totally different. Somehow people started getting, you know, like when they made elastic bands using rubber, okay, they made elastic bands, they see that, okay, you stretch it and it returns back. Stretch it, it returns back. So they started attaching the word elastic bands. And then after that it became elastic. But now rubber is terrible in elasticity. Steel is very, very elastic. That's why we're using steel springs. Why steel springs? Because steel, you change its shape, it will return back to its original shape readily. How readily something can return back to its original shape is what defines elasticity. Yeah.
So why if my hairs are not steel then? Why is it elastic?
You can't stretch that much. That is flexible, not elastic.
Okay.
But if you have like a steel wire
Mhm.
and a rubber wire,
Mhm.
you can't really pull the steel wire.
You can.
And then, but if you do pull it, it'll stay.
No.
Did you see like an aircraft?
Steel wire?
Steel wires?
Steel wire either
Like
returns back or snaps. Only the two. A steel drill bit. You know what a drill bit is?
Yeah.
Have you seen a drill bit bending like this?
Yeah.
Yes?
no.
Yeah.
Then it's not a good drill bit. Cheaper drill bits, yes, will do that. Good high carbon drill bits will stay in the same shape. It should not be bending at all. Now, if you try to kind of move your drill a little differently, you know, when it is going in, then it'll snap. A good drill bit will retain its shape. So steel is very elastic there. All right, so just understand that steel is elastic, whereas rubber is more flexible. That is a big difference between them. In English, we use a lot of things are used wrongly, wrong usages. Okay, another example is this. What is this?
Battery.
Wrong usage. This is not a battery. It is a cell.
It's better.
This is a cell. You can never think other way right now. This is actually an electric cell, a dry cell. This is a cell. But what happened is people started attaching that word. All right, now what is, when I put these together, now what is this? It's a battery of cells. Now, do you get that now? These are battery of cells. It's like battery of soldiers. Have you heard that term?
Yeah.
So if you see one soldier, you'll call him battery?
No.
That's what we're doing right now. That's pretty much what you're doing right now. Because most of the devices that started using this were using two or more of this, your flashlight.
Yeah.
So they started calling it a flashlight operated by a battery of cells. And then they shortened it to battery operated flashlights. Okay? So the word battery is more of a group name. It's like flock of birds. You used it?
Yeah.
So yeah, when there are many birds flying like that, you'll just say flock of birds, pack of wolves, pack of cards. But then you see one bird flying, you'll say, there goes a flock. No, that is totally wrong usage. That's a bird.
That's crazy.
Okay? So this is a battery of cells, and it turned out slowly to become a battery, and now we are calling it a battery. Now, obviously, I have to use the same term if I have to go and ask for one at Walmart. If I go to Walmart and I don't know where these things are kept, and I'll just be asking the same question. I need a. I can't say where do you keep cells. So if I ask them where do you keep cells, they'll be like, what is that? They will have no clue about it because that usage is totally out. Now why? Okay, so what exactly is a cell? A cell is a compartment. This is truly a compartment. A cell is a prison, right? A prison is a compartment. This is also a room, a compartment. So that's why it is actually called a cell to start with, and now it's a wrong usage. Even I am using like battery. Oh, give me that battery. But it's a wrong usage, but just to make the other person understand it, you can't use the term cell. Okay. So the usages are all totally wrong. Many of them are wrong. So elasticity is one example of that. Battery is another example. There are so many examples like that where we use a term, but it is not supposed to be that term. Another term is this. What is this material?
Plastic.
Wrong.
Okay, bet. All right.
Rocking my whole
Charcoal.
I asked you, what is this material? And you said plastic.
PVC.
There you go. Polyvinyl chloride, PVC, is the right answer for that question. I asked you, what is this material? And you can't say plastic. Plastic is the name of its behavior.
There you go.
You're plastic. No way.
You understand? So you can have, so what is plasticity? Plasticity is you bend it, it won't break, it may get changed, you can deform it and still not break. In other words, it's not brittle. Anything that is not brittle is plastic. Anything that's not brittle.
You're plastic.
Is plastic. Is copper plastic?
Yes.
Copper is plastic in behavior.
That's insane.
That's why I'm saying it, so you at least are aware of it now.
So what's not plastic?
So
Like
plastic
rocks?
straws are just PVC pipes. If you think about it. Like,
Whoa.
We can burn them.
So if
we should make PVC straws.
if you can bend something, and that object stays bent, then you can call it plastic, whatever be it. Is chewing gum plastic?
Yes. Yeah, but not.
It's not brittle. You can squid. So basically, that's what it is. You can change its shape,
So
and
I
if it is
don't-
retaining,
It's flexible,
And
but
it
not
comes back.
elastic.
It's
Which one?
Chewing gum.
chewing gum is not flexible.
freaking plastic.
Well, like you can bend it easily, but like.
No, we don't call it flexible. So again, flexibility means how much it can stretch. But then again, is it elastic? Not at all,
No.
because it doesn't want to come
You
back.
can't stretch that much.
No, you can't. Even if you stretch it, it won't return back.
What about human lungs?
Yes.
So what about steel? So you
Say it again.
What about steel? If you have a steel wire, it's definitely elastic. You can also bend that steel wire.
Steel wire.
Plastic.
Steel. If it is a proper steel wire, you know what's the difference between iron and steel?
Carbon.
Carbon. So when you put carbon, then what happens is steel will be brittle. A steel wire is actually a brittle wire because it's got carbon. Iron wire, you know the binding wires and all those wires on the chair. Can you see that wire?
Yeah.
Those are iron. It's not steel. That's why you can bend it and it'll stay there.
So like coat hangers are made of iron, they're not made of steel.
That's insane.
They're not made of
So
steel.
what's made out of steel? in here?
Drill bits, saw.
Like what about your computer? Is that steel or is that iron?
This is aluminum.
That's titanium.
Oh, it's
Aircraft
You
grade.
can bend the steel saw blade. And
It's a max.
stay
Say it again. Saw
bent. You can like bend.
is not supposed to be. You can bend, but will it come back?
Yeah.
Then it is steel.
If you grease it.
All right, you know what a hacksaw blade is?
Yeah.
Do you know what a hacksaw blade is? You know that?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Can I just take the hacksaw blade and bend it and make it right angles?
No.
No, it will break.
What would an axe be?
Huh?
What would like that blade of an axe be? Would that be steel?
I'm just saying, like,
so-
it bends.
steel.
But it could break.
They normally use steel because they don't want it to get blunt.
Yeah.
Normally the edge of knives and all those, they're actually supposed to be high carbon steel because when you cut something, you don't want the knife to be cut.
Dude, that's crazy.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you want the sharpness to be retained, then you need to have something which is high carbon steel. You may have pieces of it broken off. If you do something wrong with the knife, you can actually have some parts snipping off, but it should not bend. If it is bendable, it is not a good material for that
Fake
purpose.
steel.
Yeah, so why they use steel in multiple places, you know, like your car axle and all those things are the steel. Because you don't want a car axle to bend and stay bent. So you can actually break it permanently or it will work perfectly. These are the two options.
That's crazy.
If you exceed limits of its usage, the axle will break. Haven't you heard about axle breaking? Axle bending?
Yeah.
Axle bending? Yeah, it can happen to some extent because it's not 100% high carbon steel. Yeah, bending is possible. Some impacts will bend it a little bit.
So if it's 100% steel, it won't.
It will break.
Okay.
Simple as that.
So like
Glass
well, like
Glass.
is brittle, not plastic.
Plastic.
So like would like car doors be considered plastic because they can bend and
Yes.
not be broken?
So what is plastic? The word plastic is the name of a behavior. So if I'm actually asking y'all, who's that?
Ben Griffin.
Instead of saying Ben,
See.
if you say, oh, he's good. I'm not asking if he's good or bad. Tell me who it is.
Not
You understand? So telling his behavior is not what I'm expecting. When I ask you who it is, tell me who it is, not what characteristic he has got. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is not plastic, for your information. And if you're going to use the term plastic, say this has a plastic behavior. That's fine. That is fine. But in reality, this is not even plastic in behavior. This can break.
So plastic isn't even plastic anymore.
I mean, this is they made some. It is a plastic material along with other materials that makes it brittle.
Doesn't it sometimes like depend on the shape of the material too?
No.
Because like if you have like this material, I bet if it was just a straight line, it would like instead of being curved, I bet it would like bend. But since it'd stay. But since it has these like curves at the side.
You know, these things have carbon fiber or glass fiber, fiberglass. Fiberglass. Now, it is made of plasticized materials along with glass fibers. And that's what makes it brittle. Is a fiberglass brittle?
Yes.
Yeah. And it is elastic too. So fiberglass is brittle not because it has plastic. It has plastic material, but what is wedged inside is carbon fibers and other stuff. If you can bend it without breaking, then it is plastic. You understand this? So plastic, so that's why I said, how many different examples did I give so far? Battery, elastic, plastic. No, elastic. And then the other one, yeah. So there are many more such terms that we colloquially use it kind of wrong because everybody uses it. We just use it because everybody uses it. But it is not the scientific term.